Now on Coast TV News.
Turning your home into a business in Lewis, that's going to be a little easier to do soon.
Good news for drivers, cheaper gas to fuel your Thanksgiving travel plans.
Smoking hot debate in Milford. School officials weigh in as the city considers marijuana sales.
And the president-elect's border plan under review, plus how new tariffs could impact your wallet.
And the busiest travel day of the year is tomorrow, looking for a dry Delmarva, but a bit of a problem if you're going to be traveling throughout the central part of the country. We'll have your full air travel delay plan.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Making bank from your own place, how home businesses in Lewis are going to be regulated. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight in Lewis, where some people are trying to make a buck right where they live.
Most people live at home and work at work, but for those that want to turn their home into a business, there are some hurdles, at least in Lewis. Coast TV reporter Brendan Conroy is in our newsroom. Brendan, today the City Home Subcommittee discussed how this sort of entrepreneurial effort should be governed in city limits.
Charlie, this has been a big discussion in Lewis for those who want to operate a business out of their house and also for people who might not want a business right next door. Work from home got a real jolt in the arm during the pandemic.
COVID definitely changed the game.
But there's a big difference between remote work on the computer and running a full business out of your home. It's that second option that the city of Lewis is looking at and debating rules and regulations for. Steve Pete lives in Lewis and says the idea is definitely feasible, as long as they're doing it the right way.
I would hope people would try to be respectful of any rules in place and certainly anything surrounding safety. But again, as long as they're not violating the rights of others, kind of live and let live.
If you do want to run your business from your house in Lewis, you're going to have to follow some rules like the hours they give you, not changing the character or the exterior of your house, and not hiring more than 2 non-residential employees. Some people are worried about unintended consequences. One man says it could lead to traffic buildup in what should be a residential area.
The main problem I would see is parking and how many people are going to be patronizing a business at one time.
The rules and regulations on how this will be governed have not been finalized yet. Today's meeting was just the latest step towards a future that could create a kitchen-sized commute for some in the city of Lewis. The Lewis Home Subcommittee is meeting again in the beginning of January to discuss their next steps as they move forward. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brendan. New at 11, marijuana back in the news. Seaford, which earlier this year created zoning rules that will allow for the recreational sale of pot in certain areas, is adding an amendment to their regulations. A first reading of that amendment was held tonight. It will add a license requirement for any retail business that wants to sell the drug. They also looked at what they might charge for a license fee. The suggested number is $1,000, though that could be changed in future meetings.
And sticking with the topic of marijuana, it's something that's causing some controversy in Milford, where the school district vice president Matt Butcher sent a letter to the Milford Council as the city considers legalizing pot sales. Now, Butcher's letter said, quote, "The last thing we need is legal weed in the city of Milford when we in the district are desperately trying to keep drugs out of the schools," unquote. But some parents we spoke with say they don't think pot sales will impact students.
We can't really depend on the law to implement on how our kids are raised and what they believe in. And I think that the kids that are going to do what they're going to do, they're going to do it regardless of whether there's a law in place or not.
And Milford is still determining how it would regulate marijuana sales in the city.
This brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what should schools do if they catch underage students with marijuana?
Let's take a look at the results. And it looks like so far most people, 51%, are saying those kids should be suspended. 28% saying the school should contact their parents. 14% saying they should be expelled. 3% saying contact police, and a few saying written warning.
And that's pretty much what we've seen most of the day. The numbers have changed a little bit each direction, but those have been the main leaders. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that at coasttv.com or use our Coast TV mobile app.
Let's take a live look outside now into the Lewis area, and our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams will join us with a first check on the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Christina. And we're starting to feel just a little bit cool, but this is what I would call comfortable cool. Not so comfortable cool, well, that's down the forecast road, particularly going into next week. But for right now, we're a comfortable cool, I'd say, 49 degrees with the winds out of the north and still staying relatively calm for us. And we are going to continue to get a chance to enjoy mainly clear skies. We'll drop to 42 degrees by the 3 o'clock hour. And we had about, just over a tenth of an inch of rain across a good portion of Delmarva. So we expect it to be relatively light. Here's a look at your travel delays. Listen, as we go into Wednesday evening, looking for some delays out of Dallas as well as Nashville. And with the forecasted storm system, we could see some delays in Chicago by the early morning hours for Thursday. And then we could see significant problems in Boston, New York, and D.C. as we go into Thursday in case you're going to be traveling that late in the game. Now, coming up, we'll talk more about that serious cold weather I've been talking about for next week. Charlie, you better stick around for this one. You might not even believe it.
I think I'll believe it. It just doesn't mean I want to. At the
Indian River Inlet, all the equipment needed to begin work to prevent further erosion has been brought in. DENREC has started what it calls an emergency dredging project, using 380,000 cubic yards of sand to help rebuild the shoreline, and the beach will be 9 feet high. And we spoke with people who have seen projects like this before. They question if it's going to work.
Mother Nature has a way of doing what it wants to do when it wants to do it. Mother Nature comes in with a 40-footer, one after the other. Good luck with that.
DENREC says the entire project will be done by March 31st, 2025. If you're getting ready to travel this Thanksgiving, here's something to be thankful for: cheaper gas. About 200,000 Delawareans are expected on the roads for the holiday, and the average price of gas in Delaware right now is $3.01 a gallon. That's down from $3.15 this time last year. Maryland drivers will see similar relief, with gas averaging $3.09 a gallon. That's 15 cents less than last year, but some drivers say they'd like to see the prices fall even further.
We're gonna fill up probably a few times since it's pretty long, but they do seem to be lower than before, a little, but they could always be lower.
It's down. It's definitely. I remember last summer it was about $4 a gallon. But it's definitely down from what it used to be. I'd like to see it go a little bit lower.
And these regional gas prices are pretty close to what most of the country is paying. The national average today is $3.07. Well, the incoming Trump administration is flexing some financial muscle to try to achieve its goals on illegal immigration and drug trafficking.
The president-elect says he will put tariffs on imported goods from the nation's 3 largest trade partners on his first day in office if they don't cooperate, a plan that economists warn will raise prices on a wide range of goods for everyone.
This as Mr. Trump's so-called border czar went to Texas today to highlight plans to combat illegal immigration. NBC's Chris Pallone has the latest.
At the Texas-Mexico border, President-elect Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, assessing the situation with Governor Greg Abbott as the administration prepares to take over in January.
You can't have strong national security if you don't have border security.
Immigration, a key campaign issue for Trump, and now the centerpiece of a new threat from the president-elect targeting the U.S.'s 3 largest trade partners. Trump posting on social media he plans to impose 25% tariffs on goods imported from Mexico and Canada and increase the tax on Chinese goods by 10% on his first day in office, blaming the 3 countries for immigrants and drugs coming into the U.S. and daring them to stop it. Economists say people will see across-the-board price increases on things like vehicles, dairy, paper products, building supplies, electronics, and many other everyday items.
The person or the entity that is importing that writes a check to the U.S. government to pay that import tax and then turns around and in many cases passes that tax along to consumers in the form of higher prices.
It's unclear whether Trump is serious about these day-one tax hikes or just using them as a negotiating tactic. But experts say just the threat alone could cause price increases before the president-elect is inaugurated.
the more people, the more retailers and importers that rush to stockpile goods, the more it raises things like shipping and freight costs given those higher demands.
In response, Canadian officials stressed the nation's close relationship with the U.S., and the Chinese embassy in Washington said trade between the two nations is mutually beneficial. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Meanwhile, Mexico's president going right back at President-elect Trump's tariff threat, writing in a letter to Trump that imposing tariffs against Mexico will kill jobs in both countries, and hinting that her country would retaliate with its own tariffs on American imports.
We've got more news coming your way this evening.
Coming up, turning it down, Fenwick Island trying to tackle noise complaints with new quiet hours.
But first, making way how Lewis plans to keep pedestrians and cyclists safe as the city grows.
Here's a look at our expectations for the rest of the night. Temperatures settling into the 30s. We're going to hit freezing at 7 o'clock in the morning, but we're going to go lower than that next week. And even this weekend, I'll explain just how low we'll go in 60 seconds.
As temperatures drop, FH Fur invites you to be part of something truly heartwarming. Our Fall into Comfort Toy Drive. Through December 15th for only $29, the experts at FH Fur will perform a comprehensive heating system inspection, ensuring your home stays snug through the chilly months ahead. The best part? 100% of the proceeds will go to the United States Marine Corps Reserve's Toys for Tots. Schedule your heating inspection today with FH Fur.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
We're starting the holiday season in a big way.
The Black Friday sales event at McGee Motors.
You'll save big, really big.
Get up to $18,000 off Ram 1500 or drive a Ram Bighorn 4x now, just $339 a month.
Get 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, $6,500 off select Jeep Grand Cherokees or Wranglers. Or choose a Wrangler Willys, now just $349 a month with no money down.
At McGee Motors in Georgetown, a family tradition since 1948.
We're expecting some real rain to arrive on Thanksgiving Day, giving us about a half an inch of rain. But following that, that's when the worm truly turns in a major way, because the temperatures are going to drop to, like, imagine a high of about 40 degrees and a low of about 20, like 20 even. Just keep that in your mind as I'm going through the forecast, okay? Our Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury, we're at 36 degrees right now as we speak. So the chill is definitely in the air, particularly in Salisbury, and we'll stay with the 30s with temperatures and scattered cloud cover. Now, it's going to be the busiest travel day for tomorrow, so I'm going to go over the travel forecast here in a second. But we're remaining dry for Wednesday, but it's going to be gloomy and kind of soggy on Thanksgiving Day with a chance of rain primarily in the morning, but it's going to be heavy at times. Then looking for a pretty pleasant shopping day after Thanksgiving, but you're going to need to bundle up. It's really about to have the coldest air mass we've had in a long time come knocking on our door. Right now, it's pretty chilly. 38 degrees right now in Milton, Redden, as well as Seaford. 37 right now in Delmar. The winds are coming out of the north. That's adding another layer to the cold or the chill that's in the air. Then we have the small craft advisories in effect. For example, right off of the Sussex County coast, we're looking at about 25-mile-per-hour winds there. And then for the most southern portions of the Chesapeake Bay area, the small craft advisory is still active. That means that's going to keep the waters a bit choppy. So, keeping that in mind. But I don't think you want to be out on the water at this time anyway. Cold front's already pushed through. We have a dominant high-pressure system that's in place for right now, but we have a fast-approaching storm system from the west. Overnight, we're going to drop to near freezing just about everywhere inland. Now, along the coast, it's going to be a little milder, 39, 40 degrees, but overall, pretty chilly. We're going to start off at about, let's say, 33 to 32 degrees at 6 o'clock when the sun comes up. We're going to get a chance to warm to about maybe the mid-50s, but that's a maybe at best. Our regional airports, everybody's moving on schedule for right now, and it should stay that way even for tomorrow. It's only on actual Thanksgiving Day we'll start seeing some delays. Let's talk rain. 85% chance of rain on Thursday. Then we drop dramatically after that because the cold air is in place. You see, Wednesday afternoon, we stay cloudy and temperatures in the 50s. You see that? Then for Thursday, going to midnight, we start getting a little bit cooler, but then the moisture increases and we have the winds coming off of the southeast. Now, that's going to bring in some additional moisture. That's going to help feed into the frenzy of the scattered showers for Thursday morning at 9:30. Thursday afternoon, we start to see it dissipate pretty quickly. And Thursday night, it's totally gone. But then the cold air steps in a major way. Now, the amount of rain we're talking about, Still, now the models are backing off of it, between 1/4 of an inch to maybe even 1/2 inch of rain at best case scenario, but the winds are going to still stay very active. Our Turkey Day forecast, so we are looking for it to stay a bit on the rainy side for us for Thanksgiving at 59. And before I wrap things up here, we're looking at our shopping day forecast. We may peak at about 51 degrees, mostly cloudy if we're lucky, but that cold air is going to step in and it's going to grip us and it's not going to let go. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodel Extended Forecast. You see those 40s? You see those 20s? You have been duly notified.
Good mornings, Paul. Thank you. Biking, walking, and safety, 3 topics that Lewis is tackling in light of more proposed development in that area. The city is looking at increasing pedestrian and bike access at the Overfall Preserve development that's set for Savannah Road. Some people are worried that the development, if it moves forward, is going to make that area a little too congested. One consideration at a previous meeting on November 12 was the addition of a safer cut-through street that would take bikers and walkers off of Savannah Road in an effort to keep them more protected.
I think we're already struggling with Savannah Road as it is now. I can't even imagine like 90 townhomes and who knows how many apartments going to be exiting onto Savannah Road at one time. I would hope that they're going to have a left-hand turning lane because it's going to be difficult.
And some other plans proposed by the Bike and Pedestrian Committee include revising its bike and pedestrian friendly map for next year.
Town leaders on Fenwick Island say they're listening to neighbors and visitors, literally. Fenwick's mayor proposed changes to a town ordinance. She says it's in response to some complaints from people who live there year-round and police officers. The mayor says the current noise code is in need of some updates, and if the new ordinance is passed, it would give better guidelines for enforcement. One proposed change is moving quiet hours 2 hours earlier to 10 p.m. instead of the current midnight cutoff.
And the way our ordinance was written, it was sort of, whatever was considered reasonable under the circumstances. And, what's reasonable, The
mayor says the proposal will go before the town council at their meeting on December 6th.
Coming up, spreading the wealth, how one of the world's richest men wants his fortune shared after he's gone.
Plus, why you should not believe everything you see on TikTok. New research says social media stars are failing in the fact-checking department.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford Crew. Black Friday.
What's happening?
It's the extra shipment of Ford trucks and SUVs.
Serious SUV capability.
Ford F-Series, best-selling trucks for 47 years.
Bronco and Bronco Sport.
I can smell the adventure now.
Yeah.
It's Black Friday time.
Just announced, Jeep owners switching to the Bronco family get up to $5,000 toward Bronco, or lease a Bronco Sport for $336 a month with 0 down. Hurry, Black Friday offers end December 2nd.
Black Friday is now at Vernon Powell.
2,500 pairs half off.
Plus, save 20% off over 100 brands like Extra Tough, Hey Dude, Crocs, and Skechers.
20% off Saucony, Asics, and New Balance.
20% off work boots.
20% off outerwear, apparel, and handbags.
Kendra Scott Marie Newton Jewelry, buy one, get one 30% off. And 30 to 50% off select Pandora. Now through Cyber Monday while supplies last.
Shop early for best selection and support local business.
See more doorbuster deals at vpshoes.com.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Some people will stop at nothing to get your stuff. Get solid security and protect yourself from theft, fire, and accidents with American-made Rhino at Southern States in Milford. Experience peace of mind with financing available when you buy local from the only Rhino dealer on Delmarva. They'll deliver and set it up for you too. Ask about Rhino's Thank You for Your Service rebate program. Protect your stuff with Rhino. Everything else is just storage. Securing Delmarva one safe at a time. Southern States of Milford.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Well, I'm not so sure this next story is going to shock anyone, but a new study shows a majority of social media influencers do not verify information before sharing it online. Researchers at UNESCO surveyed 500 digital creators across 45 countries and territories in August and September of 2024. 62% of those surveyed said they don't vet the accuracy of their content before posting to followers. Researchers say the findings validate ongoing concerns about social media personalities spreading misinformation. And a recent report from Pew Research Center found nearly 40% of young Americans regularly get their news from influencers, most of whom are not employed by a news organization. Warren Buffett is one of the world's richest men, and on Monday, the 94-year-old shared his most detailed plan yet on how he wants his wealth distributed after he dies. Buffett is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. In a letter to shareholders, he said he hopes his 3 children will live long enough to act on Buffett's wishes to donate to certain charitable causes. But Buffett said if his children aren't able to determine the fate of his fortune, he has designated 3 people to serve as potential trustees. Buffett is currently worth about $150 billion, according to Bloomberg. He's giving away some of his money while he's still alive, and his remaining wealth will be distributed after he passes away.
During the holiday season, Draper Media's Bless Our Children campaign works to bring Christmas spirit to everybody, and everybody who helps out too donates. They ensure that every child has a Christmas present on Christmas morning. We also get these cards from each donation, and this is a great one. This one just says peace on the front. We've got what looks like a gnome Santa under a Christmas tree. I really enjoy this one. And this was sent in from Carl and Linda Thomas. We really appreciate you guys. They are from Dagsboro, Delaware. I'm gonna find a little spot in the tree right there. We really appreciate it. And thank you, because we have already raised almost $95,000, a little over $95,000. But I know we can do more, we can do better. It's still early in the season. So to donate, go online and visit blessourchildren.org. And as the Christmas season rolls around, we welcome everybody to share their holiday decorations. We want to see all the bright lights, the festive setups. You can submit your pictures and videos right now to coasttv.com/holidayhouse. Coming up in sports, hear from Stephen Decatur football's head coach about how the team is prepping for the state semifinals.
And coming up, winter wellness, why staying active and eating healthy gets tougher in colder months and how to stick with it.
Well, stick with your golf game, but I do it this week because next week is not even going to be fair. But we will have about 56 degrees with a little sun, and clouds will be on the increase.
NBC News Daily, weekdays at 1 on Coast TV.
Toyotathon is on. Now's the time to get an exciting new Toyota, like Camry.
Wait, what?
RAV4 Hybrid.
Cool.
Tundra, and more.
Whoa.
How'd you do that? Toyotathon magic.
Buy a new 24 Tundra with low 1.99 APR financing for 72 months. Or take $2,000 cash back from Toyota.
'Tis the season for Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go places.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's vibrant coastal vibes with Coast Life. From hidden gems to sun-kissed trends and captivating local tales. Dive deep and immerse yourself in our coastal rhythm. Catch Coast Life weekdays at 4 on Coast TV.
Get ready for Jolly Roger Amusement Park's world-famous Black Friday sale. For one day only, Friday, November 29th, score 50% off all passes. Save big on passes to Splash Mountain Water Park, unlimited day and night rides at the pier and 30th Street, and 50% off all Speed World go-karts and mini golf passes. Give the gift of thrills and fun. This amazing sale runs from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Speed World building at Jolly Roger 30th Street.
Without Jolly Roger, it's just another day. It's just another day at the beach.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get $3,000 purchase allowance on Encore GX models. That's 10% below MSRP.
Farmers are superheroes, true conservationists. We are using soil health practices to help fight climate change. Soil health farmers are working today to protect tomorrow, using regenerative agriculture and climate-smart practices like no-till and cover crops to improve soil health. Healthy soils sequester carbon, improve water quality, and produce sustainable, nutrient-rich food. Soil health farmers are working today to keep Delmarva a beautiful place for generations to come.
Have fun and enjoy Delmarva's coast with Petey the Peacock, sharing joy coast-wide. Know where he's going to be next and get his free coloring book at peteythepeacock.com. Sponsored by Tidal Health.
We all know that staying active and having a healthy diet are keys to good health, but this time of year, the holidays and the cooler weather, it can derail our health goals. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has tips to stay fit and healthy all year long.
The days are shorter, the temperatures colder, and it can make staying healthy harder.
So really going into the winter season with a game plan so that we don't put on 10 pounds during the holidays.
Dr. Keisha Davis with the American Academy of Family Physicians says hone in on what you eat. She says to avoid fad diets and focus on fruits and veggies, which is harder in colder months, but still doable.
It's time to kind of switch to the sweet potatoes, the winter kales, those other vegetables that really sustain us for the winter. And I would remind folks that getting healthy fruits and vegetables frozen is a great option.
Motivation to exercise can wane in colder temperatures, but Davis says it's still important to be active. She suggests switching up when you exercise to earlier, lighter times of day. Davis says it's also important to designate a time to be active each day. Routines can help keep you on track. And she says to be prepared to work exercise in.
Maybe it's just walking around your home or apartment complex. Maybe it's walking up and down the stairs. Maybe it's doing just some chair yoga. There are so many free videos that you can find on the internet that will just make sure that you are moving, staying active.
Davis says exercise during darker, colder months can also improve mental health, but she says it's also important to stay connected to others.
This is also an opportunity to build community, come close to the folks that you know and love.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
In sports, two local football teams still have a shot to earn a state title. Here's the Delmarva Sports Network's Michelle Roberts.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. Undefeated, Stephen Decatur football is one win away from competing for their second straight state championship. The Seahawks have a 12-0 record on the season and are coming off a 37-0 win over Walkersville in the Maryland 2A state quarterfinal. Friday at 6:30 p.m. in Berlin, Decatur faces Westlake in the state semifinal. The Wolverines are 10-2 on the year and entering after defeating Damascus 34-0. Westlake hasn't given up a point in the state tournament this year. This should be a good one from the home of the Seahawks. We caught up with Decatur head coach Jake Coleman, who says they've been preparing for this type of matchup since preseason.
And the players, they're just, they're ready. We have a very battle-tested group. We're excited to play. We're excited for the challenges. We know that Westlake is super fast. We know they're a well-coached team. It's going to be matchups. We're not familiar with them. They're not familiar with us. It also, momentum is huge in high school football. So starting with stopping the run and then us establishing the run, being solid on special teams, those will be, three big keys for us.
Moving to Delaware, our other local team still competing, Indian River football is looking for their first state title since 2011 as they take on undefeated Tatnall on Saturday. IR comes into this game with an 11-1 record and on an 8-game winning streak. This game kicks off from Abasino Stadium Saturday at 1 p.m. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
And in case you didn't know, a Delaware high school football championship is on the line this weekend. Indian River will be chasing glory at the 1A DIAA state championship Saturday. And guess what? The Delmarva Sports Network will have live analysis, talk back with fans through Facebook, and reaction of the game. It's all part of the Wawa Watch Party. That is the 2024 Wawa Watch Party starting at 1 p.m. Saturday. The DIAA Class 1A State Football Championship between Indian River and Tatnall. And by the way, while you're celebrating Turkey Day, don't forget to tune in to Coast TV for Thursday Night Football. It's the Miami Dolphins at the Green Bay Packers. Join us for your hyper-local news after that.
And coming up next, like something out of a movie, stolen treasure, an arrest, and missing gold? Stay with us.
It's Black Friday at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World. Get a free adjustable base with any mattress purchase of $19.99 or more, plus free delivery and free removal of your old mattress. Black Friday savings are going on now at Johnny Janosic.
These hands create. All of the materials I work with dry out my hands. If my hands get really dry, I can't do my job. I depend on O'Keeffe's.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief.
If it works for these hands, it'll work for yours.
Also available in O'Keeffe's for healthy feet.
With Reynolds, holiday meals become so easy to prep, cook, and clean. You can feel like the chef of your kitchen. Make it easy. Make it with Reynolds.
Have you lost a loved one to suicide? You are not alone. I lost my teenage son to this heartbreaking tragedy.
And I lost my veteran dad, who faced his struggles alone in silence.
We're here as part of the Jesse Clump Memorial Fund's Lost team, providing support to suicide loss survivors.
We understand this complicated grief. We are here to meet, talk, or text whenever you need.
Remember, you are not alone.
Call us at 410-726-3090.
Together we can heal and find hope again.
The Black Friday sales event is finally here at Preston Ford. We have over 1,000 new vehicles in stock, all priced to sell fast. Save over $12,500 off MSRP on a 2024 Ford F-150 XLT. Get a 2024 Expedition Platinum up to $12,000 off MSRP. Those are just some of our deals. Discover more discounts and saving at PrestonFord.com. Purchase your new Ford online and we'll deliver it to your driveway. Don't miss Preston Ford's Black Friday sales event. Cars cost less in Preston.
When choosing windows and doors for your home, at Pella, it's your choice. We manufacture maintenance-free vinyl, fiberglass, and wood-clad windows and patio doors, all with lifetime warranties. High performance, energy efficient, and loaded with options to help make your house your home. Industry-first features and benefits make living easier and increase your home's value. Visit our Experience Center or call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation where we bring the showroom to you.
Black Friday starts early at Johnny Janosic. Get an extra 20% off or 0% APR for 60 months. Going on now at Johnny Janosic.
Finally tonight, listen to the details on this one. A member of a treasure hunting family facing charges accused of stealing dozens of gold coins found at the site of a Spanish fleet that sank in a hurricane off the Florida coast back in 1715. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says that it recovered 37 gold coins that were sold illegally after they were discovered in 2015. Officials say that the treasure hunters found 101 coins, but 50 coins worth more than $1 million weren't disclosed to the proper authorities. Investigators linked a member of the Schmidt family, Eric Schmidt, to the stolen coins, and 13 of those coins are still missing.
Well, I guess that legal ordinance doesn't apply. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers? Probably not. Okay, anyway, Tidal Health camera in Salisbury. We're at 36 degrees, actually. We'll drop and stay in the 30s and mainly clear skies. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Catherine Ferretti of Rehoboth Beach. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. If you want to keep up with your forecast, you can call our weather line at 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandela's, Brockstedt, and Federico. Now let's talk cold weather, folks. After the rain for Thanksgiving, then we would enjoy maybe one more day of 50-degree weather. After that, we drop like a rock. 24 across the board.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11.
For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
And we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.